I keep trying to get to this hutch back over here, and as you can see, there's a lot of small items stacked in front of it because we have a small item shopping problem.
I don't really consider it a problem, but we're gonna take care of it today. It's all getting sprayed. We're gonna be layering in red and green into the shop, so I wanna spray a bunch of white so we have a good backdrop to neutralize things to bring in those colors. Because it's really cold outside, we're now limited to working in our garage, so we kind of have stations and we have to work really hard at keeping all of our stuff kept up and not accumulating too much, otherwise we have no place to work. So we've got our first round of items here. These are all gonna be sprayed white. We've also separated out another round of items that will spray white, and then we'll switch over to another color. Once all that is dry, we will move all of that stuff inside while the other color is being sprayed because you don't want to get overspray on your items. So back over in here, you can see we have these tarps, and this area, once we finish these projects, will be our spray booth. And so we're gonna limit our picking items to a corner over here, and that way we'll have a place to spray and then a place to store stuff. Over in this area, we've got all things broken that Zeb's gonna repair while the paint is drying. We like to separate things out so we know exactly what we have to work with. And if you work in stations, it really helps productivity. I'm using DIY paint in my spray gun. I've got 3 parts paint to 1 part water, and then just a few extra tablespoons because DIY is a little bit thick. And I'm using my HVLP from Harbor Freight, and we've got it hooked up to our air compressor. We've got a full video on spraying, so I'll have Zeb drop that link for you. The DIY paint is no VOC, but I do get some mist in the air when I'm spraying it, so I'm wearing my dust mask to keep that mist out of my lungs. This piece was really shiny. We didn't do any prep other than wiping it down, but it will take 2 coats to get full coverage.
What do you do when it's cool outside and you're waiting for paint to dry? You do repairs. So this had the top just right here like so, but this one was broken off, so I've lopped the top off. I just traced out kind of the rough shape of them here because they're not square, and used the bandsaw to cut these out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hot glue these on. That should be really strong and work plenty well against this resin and wood. The hot glue will stick to both. I'm using high temp hot glue, and then I will kind of sand and smooth these out a little bit, and we'll paint them up white. The hot glue worked really well, but these square blocks on the top look kind of out of place, so I'm gonna round them, smooth them, make them look like they should have been there a little bit better. So I got a little hole in the pig's ear and a little hole right here, and where I would normally fill up with Bondo, since I'm painting these, I'm gonna see if the hot glue will work. I think it'll fill that hole pretty nicely, and then I'll be able to just sand it down smooth with some lightweight sandpaper and paint right over the top of that. The hot glue worked pretty well to fix this hole. I just had to make sure I didn't sand too hard. That way it didn't heat the glue up and mush it all around. This little table here is probably going to have some bleed through issues, so it's going to get a healthy coat of shellac. I'll let that dry for probably 15-20 minutes and then paint it up. It's starting to get pretty chilly in the garage here. Fall has officially kicked in and it's been freezing every night, and it'll warm up by the afternoon, but I can't wait until the afternoon to start painting, so I gotta get the garage warm. I've got a New Air electric heater that's designed to heat 500 square feet. My garage is about 340, so it should work really well to heat the whole space, especially since I've insulated the garage door. It weighs about 15 pounds, so I'm gonna use some lag bolts to hold it into this 2x6 here. The new air heater is up and running. It is cranking out warm air like a champ, and it's gonna get this garage warmed up real nice, real quick.
Now it's time for distressing. I'm gonna start with wet distressing first. This is just a lint-free cloth. It's got some water on it. Warm is always best. And I like to use it on things that have a lot of detail. So you can see that it just took off the paint on the higher areas and all the details showing. Okay, so I'm going to bring back some of the colors that are on this rooster. Let's give it a little bit of wet distress.
Everything's distressed. Now it's time to seal it. I'm gonna be using Sweet Pickins top coat in my HVLP. It's not watered down, it's full strength. It'll make quick work of all of these things with all the detail, where brushing or waxing would probably take me quite a while. The baskets are going to be waxed. Reason being, we're concerned about bleed through coming through on the wood tannins. I'm also going to be waxing this small table and the sleigh. Both of them had a little bit of bleed through when we painted them white, and we fixed those problems with shellac. You saw me shellac this before I got started. I missed a couple little spots and had to go back and spray those spots and repaint. But the reason being is when you spray a sealer or even brush a liquid sealer, what happens is it's going to dry out really fast. It'll almost activate the paint underneath as it dries, and it will wick any stains up underneath your piece into the top of your paint. And that's where you get like the yellowing and the brown stains and things like that. If you use a wax, it doesn't reactivate the paint nearly as much, and you're able to put a durable sealer on there that's not going to bleed through nearly as much, if any at all. So once again, we did not get everything painted, and we didn't even get to the apothecary, but we got a lot done, and it didn't take very long when we were actually spraying and doing the work.
And it's much warmer with the new heater.
Yes, that new air heater is fantastic. It heated the whole garage up, probably took 20 minutes, and it was nice and warm in there. It was about 36 this morning out there, and once the heater got going, I'm pretty sure it's closer to 60 or 70. I haven't actually measured it with a thermometer, but it's warm.
And what's the lowest temperature that you want to spray at?
You don't really want to spray below 50 with the chalk paints that we use. Most other paint brands will tell you below 70. I've had okay luck down to about 50. Below that, you get a lot of running. It doesn't dry out. It crackles because it's just thick in areas and thin in others. It's not good.
Yeah, it's too cold. So that's a good thing to know because I get asked that all the time. Last year we tried a myriad of different heaters, like the space heaters, and this year we're so excited to have like a official garage heater. I think it's going to make a huge difference, and you might actually get me out there this winter.
Yeah, if I can keep it warm, Jamie will do some work.
We have, I just work inside. We got lots of smalls ready for the shop. As soon as we're done with this video, I'm gonna haul them all over there. Be sure to check out jamirayvintage.com. You can order White Swan, the top coat, the clear wax that we used, and we'll drop a link for that new air heater. You're definitely gonna want a garage heater if you're a garage painter like us, because you will save your tushy and your toes all winter long.
If you haven't hit that notification bell, fly. If you haven't hit that notification bell yet, make sure you're doing that. That way you get notified for all our future videos, and especially our live videos, so you're not missing those. Those are a lot of fun.
If you like this video, be sure to share it with your friends. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.